Hello, Spring Lake Park High School colleagues. I'm Principal Matthew Boucher. I'm here for another new staff VidCast. And today, I'm here with Quinn Dohney. He's joining us in the Social Studies Department, and we're going to ask him a series of questions so that you can get to know our new colleague, Quinn, also known as Mr. D. So, Mr. D, let's start with our first question. Tell us what schools you have gone to or what schools you have diplomas from.
All right, I have a Bachelor of Arts degree from the University of Minnesota, and I also have a Master's in Education now from Augsburg University.
And high school? Where'd you go to high school?
I went to South St. Paul High School.
Oh, go Packers.
Go Panthers.
Okay, that too. What's a fun fact about you, Mr. Dohney, that others might not know or infer?
I would say that what others don't know or might not infer is that although I usually am someone who likes to bring the humor to things, I also have a very serious side.
I haven't seen that in this first week.
No, that's true.
But I'm looking forward to it. The next question asks, if you could make a living at anything, what would your dream job outside of education be?
For me, that's pretty easy, Matt. It would be being a travel writer. Somebody like Rick Steves, but somebody who went all over the globe.
Wow, that would be pretty cool. Being paid to travel.
Pretty much.
And then write about it.
Correct.
I want that job.
Yeah.
Well, tell us what led you to a career in education.
I would say that I've always been drawn to education. I'm someone who I think can connect well with students. So for me, it wasn't too far of a stretch. I do have a background in more government work, but my passion has always been teaching. So it took me a while to get here, but now that I'm here, I'm ready to go.
How much time did you spend doing work in the public sector on the municipal or government side?
Oh, probably about a dozen years.
Okay.
Yeah.
At a variety of levels, municipal levels.
Correct. Yeah, municipal, county, and state government.
Okay. Interesting. Thank you. In your work with students, since you've been working with students, what is one moment or impact that you are proud of or that continues to resonate with you?
For me, it was something that came up this last summer. I was doing credit recovery at Burnsville High School, and we had a number of students who were there, getting their credit that they needed for their core classes. And it was just a really, difficult time for them getting through all of that work. And I think that's something that really resonated with me, is that I tried to make sure that everybody left the class every day with a smile, so that they know that they can come back in the next day and work again, and that there's somebody that really wants to make sure that they're feeling good about what it is they're doing, because it was so hard for them to do.
And I imagine several students found that success.
Yes, correct. We had several that got all of the necessary requirements for their credits.
Awesome. Thank you. The next question asks you to give an example of your jagged profile, and just for our friends at home or viewing from afar, a jagged profile is the idea that none of us are average at all things, no matter what the metric is or the measurement or the point of identification is. None of us fit exactly down the middle on any one series of measurements or metrics. So, with that in mind, what's an example of your jagged profile where your attributes may vary?
Yeah, I would say for me, it's probably something from what background my dad comes from. So he is actually a commercial painter. Okay. And so he does all sorts of trade work and really detailed technical work. And if you try to see me do anything crafty or anything like that, maybe even anything handy, it takes a long time, and it's quite an arduous process. So I definitely don't have that kind of instinct to be able to do that well.
So that was not genetically passed on, or you're not
Correct.
predisposed genetically to do that.
Correct, or even watching him do it, learning from him working, it didn't get through to me.
Interesting. So you've been exposed, and yet the
Yeah,
synapses don't fire that way.
Interestingly enough, my brother is in the trades, so he did seem to grasp onto what it was that he was doing. So we both grew up with the same kind of thing going on in the house, but I just ran away from doing anything crafty.
Interesting. Thank you for that example. I appreciate it. Our last question today is, what is an aspiration you have for this school year? This school year is wildly successful. What's an example, or what would exemplify it being wildly successful for you as a teacher?
For me as a teacher, what would make it successful is having students say that they enjoyed my class and want to maybe take more classes with me as a teacher, or just that, you know, my presence with them is something that they took away from the course. Not just the material, not just what they learned, but that I had an impact on what they were doing.
I appreciate that. Connecting with students makes the work go better and makes students enjoy what they do as well. So I appreciate that. Well, welcome colleagues. Once again, I want to introduce Quinn Dohney to all of you. Please take time to get to know him. This session, by the way, was brought to you today by Post-it notes, an educational necessity. Thank you for joining us, and once again, be sure to welcome Quinn to our family. Take care.